The other thing is, I thought the game plan was really good by Kevin Stefanski. Take a look at these metrics from DTR in Week 11. Tied for the fastest average time from snap to throw, 2.34 seconds. Lowest average intended air yards, 3.3. Seventh highest expected completion percentage, over 67%. All those tell you Kevin Stefanski was trying to make it easy for his rookie quarterback against a really good set of edge rushers, which equates to, hey, that's a great game plan.
Dave, how many times have we done these shows, and how many times have I mentioned that the Browns always have issues with teams that play the odd front? Baltimore, Pittsburgh. So the whole point was getting the ball out of the hands. And even still, now you got to keep in mind with Jaron Christian, and obviously it was James Hudson as well, who were out there. So you're down to your fourth and fifth tackles. We all know what happened the first meeting with Pittsburgh. The Browns lost the game single-handedly to Alex Smith, Highsmith, and T.J. Watt. You were not going to let that happen a second time. And I've seen, maybe a little criticisms of DTR that I thought were a little bit too harsh, which, look, division games, or you never should really be judging anybody on division games. They're the toughest games. They're the teams that know you the best. And most of the times, obviously, you've already seen this team. So Pittsburgh obviously knew what, obviously Cleveland wants to do, likes to do. But for DTR, you want to talk about where he was in his first start to where he was in this start. And obviously, maybe the Steelers defense isn't as good as Baltimore's, but that's not really a knock on Pittsburgh. They're still solid defense. Let's see what happens maybe when he gets a little bit lighter in the schedule here. And also now where this guy gets a little bit more confidence under his belt. And now that maybe there's a little breathing room for the Browns, and maybe it's not a division game. I think DTR is going to be okay. I love the fact that they, took, advantage of his athleticism. That's just smart. Put a kid in a position where he feels good about himself, like he is contributing. And I think that was a good thing. Look, I like to open it up a little bit, get a little, vertical game going. Sure. But at the end of the day, it was getting that win yesterday. They did that. And let's see what comes in the coming weeks.
Yeah. And again, I know you've addressed this on your show. Late in the game, if you make the throws that he made, and we alluded to it, 4 or 5, one of them was a spike. That's a sign of a guy that belongs. The game is on the line. You need to be at your best, and he was.
How many teams have had 3 different quarterbacks in one season leading a game-winning drive? I mean, you got to keep it. P.J. Walker obviously did it in Indianapolis. We know Deshaun just did it last week against the Baltimore Ravens. DTR did it this week at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, obviously, and there's been a lot of criticism for Coach Stefanski over the years. His system, it doesn't fit this, it doesn't fit that. Well, guess what? This season, Coach Stefanski's system has already fit 3 different quarterbacks, and everybody seems to be finding a little bit of success with it. I think it was just of having the whole product. There were times where the O-line was good. There was time where they ran the ball well. There was times, the receivers were good. Oh, the defense is good this week. Look, it's a whole quality product right now. So it's really easy to judge everything, when you're balanced. And look, it's not going to stay that way. And obviously, changes come year after year. But the Browns seem to have a really, really good roster right now, special teams included, which makes everybody's job easier because even you feel like they haven't felt in years past, hey, we might make a mistake, but it's going to be okay. We can overcome that. In years past, especially last year, the Browns got down against anybody. Guess what? The other team ran the ball and just ran it down their throats. There was no chance to ever come back because you never got the ball back on offense. Things are clicking really, really well for this franchise right now. And you'll see in DTR down in tears, knowing that he's one of 53 on this roster. And when his team really needed him, he was able to go out there and contribute like one of the big names on this team. It's really, really hard not to fall in love with this team on a regular basis.